At the United Nations this month, Singapore will emphasise the role young people play in driving climate action. Sustainability and the Environment Minister Grace Fu wants to amplify their voices when she travels to New York next week to address the World Body on Sustainable Development. Here's Chloe Choo on what we can expect.
It's about enabling today's youth to take a bigger stake in their future and getting the world to pay more attention. That'll be the key message when Sustainability and the Environment Minister Grace Fu updates the United Nations on Singapore's progress in meeting key global goals like clean water and the green energy transition. In a sit-down interview with me, she says young voices must be heard and youth action taken seriously.
Many of our youth group, for example, are championing the cause and also getting into climate action in a very concrete way. It's not just talk and discussion, but they're actually getting their hands dirty and they're getting, focusing their resources and their time to get things done on the ground, implementing ideas.
How would you say your ministry is engaging more of these youths in order to involve more of them in the whole sustainability space?
We would like to equip them in many, many ways. First, in terms of understanding our challenges and our problems. What are the climate issues that we need to deal with? What are our national circumstances in which they have to work in? And what are the resources that are available and what are the trade-offs in our policies, for example, as a small city-state? And then we would like to equip them with opportunities. So whether it is in engagement with leaders, political leaders, whether it's exposure to other ASEAN youth, whether it is in getting sort of training and development opportunities that is available in our sort of national skills future framework. We'd like to equip them with knowledge, with skill sets, and with understanding.
So I'm Farah. I am the co-founder of Repair Kopitiam.
And joining her to make that point at the UN will be Farah Sanwari, a youth leader behind several sustainability projects like Repair Kopitiam that promotes repairing broken appliances instead of throwing them away.
I noticed that there were gaps in how we address sustainability issues in Singapore, particularly in consumption back when I was still a student. So that is a community program that brought together people to learn how to repair together in hopes that we would reduce waste in Singapore.
Ms. Farah also co-founded Fitri, an Islamic environmental group to help the Muslim community understand ecological challenges and take action. Ms. Farah tells me that when she joins the minister at UN headquarters, she will talk about the need for different voices to get things done.
Youth advocacy is indeed powerful because we're leading the change for a future that we want. And in crafting that future, I hope that we youths also are more inclusive in the way that we approach it and be more open to including the voices of everybody else beyond youths.
We'd like her to share how youth can provide different perspectives and how youth can actually organize themselves, organize the resources on the ground to implement projects that are, progressing our sustainable climate agenda.
The minister is slated to present Singapore's voluntary national review to the World Body on July 18th. She'll share the country's progress across 5 sustainable development goals on clean water and energy, as well as sustainable cities and communities. A concept that she says Singapore is realizing through public engagement and its people who look out for each other.
When we have COVID and we found that we have to deal with work from home and lockdowns, by galvanizing the community, our SG United have seen groups coming in to help our elderly, to check up on them, to get them to go for vaccination, and also to help low-income family to work from home, to have digital equipment, availability of digitalization for the low-income children, for example. So that has actually really taught us that engaging the community getting involvement from all groups, not just the government sectors, but really working with the people, give us, additional resources that is so important in the implementation of our SDGs.
Singapore's water story will also come under the spotlight.
We will be one of the 3 countries that UN will be highlighting. They describe our water story as on its way of reaching the SDG targets, even for a water-stressed country. And if we look at our water story, actually it covers many elements. Of course, that's clean water that is available, accessible, affordable, sanitation that is widely available to our citizens, but it also covers elements such as industry, innovation, and infrastructure. We continue to innovate in our provision of water infrastructure. We continue to invest heavily and also invest in R&D. And if you look at partnerships with the rest of the world, we are open to new ideas, new technologies, new products, and continue to innovate, not just with Singapore companies, but also global companies on finding the best solution ahead.
The review acts as a multinational stocktake on global challenges. It's also a way for countries to learn from one another, to solve the problems of today, and support the generations of tomorrow. The UN visit is part of a week-long trip on environmental sustainability. Ms. Fu will also make a stop in Brussels for a climate summit, and later Washington, D.C. to deepen ties with the US Environmental Protection Agency.